Hey, Allison.
Hi,
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I missed last week. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, missed you too. There's Tracy. Hey,
Hi,
Tracy.
Tracy. You're muted.
There I am.
Hey,
Hey, how are you guys?
good.
Good.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
So are you all going to Costa Rica?
I'm hoping to. Are you going to Costa Rica?
I'm for sure going. My husband loves Costa Rica and he's trying to tack on where he likes to go, either on the front side or the back side of it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Are you the one who said the other day that you've been there like 5 times? There was somebody on the other call who said that they've been there a lot.
we've been there since like 2010, every year but COVID.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, once or
Wow.
twice.
we
But
should
not
have-
we stayed there usually like on the way home, on the way there, like one night before we go home or one night before we get down to where we normally go.
All right, got it. Where do you normally go?
Playa Guiones, it's in Masara. It's farther south.
I see, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, would
They
you
like
be
to surf.
would you be willing to talk with Suze on our team if she has some questions or if something's outstanding for her in the planning? Give her the benefit of your experience.
Yeah, and I'll put my husband on it too because he plans all our trips.
Okay, perfect. That'd be great. Thanks.
Yeah. No problem.
So I'll reach out to Susan and just let her know that you have a lot of experience in the country, and we'll see if she wants to reach out. Thank you.
Okay, cool.
Hey, Andrew.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Good. You
Good.
folks know Andrew. Andrew's one of our key folks behind the scenes. He helps keep us all on track for mastermind and coaching and some other stuff.
Cool. Hi, Andrew.
Yeah, I know we were going to do breakout rooms today, but I think we're sort of a smaller group, so maybe not. So
Yeah, we'll
just
see how many
keep me
people are
posted,
probably
whatever
away.
you want to do.
Yeah, sure. Well, we'll see how many show up. I mean, last time we had enough, but people kind of kept trickling in. So we'll see.
Mhm.
There's Tracy. Hey, Tracy.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Good.
Good.
So what do we have? There's 7.
Yeah, well, we got a couple of pilots here. They're not real.
Yeah. I just started those.
How are they
What is
working for
that?
you?
So it's recording everything we say, and then it will give you an outline. And so like maybe this part you wouldn't want to re-listen to, like will be just like, introductions or something. And then the next line will be like the topic of our conversation. So you can just fast forward down to that. I'll share it with you when we're done. It's
Okay.
I like it, especially when how sometimes you're on these calls and you didn't pay attention to a certain part, but you don't necessarily want to watch
That
the whole
never
thing over.
happens to me.
Yeah, never.
Sorry. I wouldn't need that.
You just have it all right there.
That's cool though.
Yep.
This is some of the possibility that AI provides is to sort through information and make value judgments about what matters and what doesn't. And I'm sure
Somebody
go
told me that somebody's told me you could actually just copy the parts of the whole conversation and put it into ChatGPT and ask it to tell you, just focus on the relevant parts that pertain to X, Y, and Z, and it will shrink it down even farther.
Well, that may or may not work. I don't know. AI it's not a universal perfect solution. Every AI has its own purpose, and the quality with which it's built makes a big difference in what you get out of it, obviously. And so Chirag and I are looking into it for some future value to everybody. And obviously it's an interesting world. The folks who are in the middle of that stuff are thinking all kinds of fantastic things, but it's a matter of making it work right too. So yeah, we'll see where it goes. Looks like we got Josh and Jillian. Welcome. Nice to see both of you. Jillian, looks like you are
What are you doing, Jillian?
walking for exercise, or are you going somewhere?
I'm actually in Nantucket right now, and
Nice.
I'm just walking around and getting some lunch, but wanted to call in.
Yeah, a nice place, Nantucket. So nice. Doesn't look too sunny though. It looks kind of cloudy. Are you getting like clouds? Or are you getting like the forest fires that are supposed to be coming back, or what?
It's pretty cloudy today, but it's honestly been so nice the whole time I was here. Boston had like tornado warnings on Sunday. We didn't have it out here at all,
Nice, good for you.
but today's not great.
There's Margot. Hey, Margot.
David, this meeting better be really good if you're going to pull Jillian away from her Nantucket vacation.
Well, I'll just say that as in all of this, this call and this experience is what all of us make of it. I mean, one of the great things about a mastermind theoretically from a facilitator's point of view is you just tee it up and everybody's supposed to like make something out of it, right? It's not like teaching or training where you're supposed to deliver all these insightful, nuggets and everyone just sits back and collects the bounty, right? Masterminds, of which I do a lot for various types of businesses. It really is a reflection of what people put into it. It's true. And it's great the feelings that we get from everybody in these two groups that we got going right now, you guys plus the other one we started this year, and getting the WhatsApp comments going back and forth and sharing all the stuff. It's all good. There's Andrea. Hey, Andrea. All right, Andrew, it looks like we're looking at two groups right now, a group of 4 and a group of 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, there's Stacy. Stacy's back. Sorry, Stacy.
Can't hear you.
I'm so sorry, Josh. Thank you for the text. It was in my calendar and then I got into a marketing meeting, a good one with my folks, and we got excited.
Did you bring us back some olive oil?
I mean, olive oil, I had pasta for 12 days straight. And if you have the question, can you get sick of pasta? The answer is yes. And
Listen, my wife did like a couple weeks in Tuscany once and said she got sick of truffles. Who gets sick of truffles?
Oh, really?
Come on. Yeah.
yeah, it was wonderful. Margot and I were in Italy at the same time. It was very exciting.
Oh, and then what's her face must have been there right before you guys too. Everybody's going to Europe right now. Everybody.
Yeah.
But read the instructions and see.
We got lucky though. Margot and I got lucky because the temperature was good, but now it's like 110 degrees there. And it was not like that when we were there. So I feel like we got very lucky.
Good.
Yeah, lucky for you guys. I know it's pretty bad. I mean, it's pretty bad in the US and a lot of parts of the US and pretty bad in Europe too. I'm surprised Italy survived both you and Margot at the same time. Who knows?
We
Thank
were
God
on
we were-
different coasts. That's why.
Yeah, that's why.
It was balanced.
I have to say though, I
And-
hardly worked at all. It was really nice.
So it is possible to actually go on vacation and hardly work at all, even for you, Stacy?
Yeah, it was really possible. And it was really needed and appreciated.
So you
But
need
the
to bring,
stress doesn't go away when you come back. When you come back, it's all waiting for you.
you should bring Fran with you next time so she can learn from you a little bit.
No,
I'm ready.
It was a good system, because we were all in such different time frames and time. So by the time I got up, Rob had gotten rid of all my crappy emails. So it was really made things very easy.
So you do like a daily check-in on email, keep tabs, but could disconnect during the day.
Yep, 5 minutes a day. That was
Right.
it, really.
Was there something about your team that really, like, you were surprised to see how well they did, or was there any challenges there?
Honestly, everyone pitched in. It was also 4th of July, so like it wasn't very busy, and the market here is really not very busy anyway. So it wasn't like a lot to do, but there was enough and everyone pitched in and we had a couple walkthroughs and I had put one person on each listing, so I knew it was covered and everyone was ready and everyone did it and it was great. The team worked really beautifully together.
Isn't that nice that you can actually put the business aside for a few minutes and it actually runs without you?
No, it was really a nice lesson.
Well, isn't this what we want, right? We want to be able to have the business and not have the business fall apart the moment we turn our attention somewhere else, right? I mean,
I also find sometimes you see who really steps up when you're not there, because sometimes when you're there, they don't, because they just know you're going to do it, or, you control it or whatever. And that's my lesson this year is, wow. It's almost, sometimes it's good for me not to be here because I really see a different scenario going on. It's good.
Yeah. Well, in the corporate setting, can also be in real estate too, if you have a big enough team. If the boss leaves and something needs to be done that's not necessarily in somebody's particular bailiwick, but they still find a way to make sure it gets done, that tells you that they're thinking in a more holistic way. They have more of kind of an owner's mindset for the business rather than just, I have to think about this and I don't have to think about anything else. And that's a clue that they might be somebody worth, thinking about for some future role that, it's a more important role, a prominent role on the team.
Definitely.
Looks like Angela. Hey, Angela.
Sorry, guys, I'm packing, getting ready to move. So I'm in casual clothes today.
No worries.
I have a quick question for everybody just on this vacation topic. Do you guys typically view like the last 2 weeks of August as two of the slowest months of the weeks of the year for you guys too? And it's kind of like, is it one of your go-to times for time off? It is for me. Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Or moving into college. That's
College, kids are home from camp, they're going on a family vacation, they're getting ready for school. Yeah, it's slow. Though then again, the summer hasn't exactly been stellar.
All right, so let's begin, everybody. So some of you were here last week, some weren't, when we were talking through a couple of things, and Chirag wanted us to continue the conversation, not just because we didn't quite get enough time to really talk through perhaps, but because we knew we'd have some different folks on the call today. Among the things that we were talking about before were, how are you handling sellers at this particular time, knowing that rates are changing, prices are changing, there's the shortage of inventory, all that stuff puts a lot of people in a situation where they're dealing with a seller that might have an unrealistic view of what the market will bear at this particular time. On the other side, you've got buyers who might be suffering from buyer fatigue. Chirag reminded us that there's 3 times as many agents as there are houses for sale right now. And he mentioned this morning on today's call that 25% of the deals being done right now are being done by people who are not full-time agents. And so if that's true too, then, how are we really fighting for what we're able to get from everybody? How are we handling those conversations that help us actually, get through not just pitching, but also, managing the sale effectively to get the referral down the line? Where are we stumbling with that? So he wanted us to start off the conversation in the small groups today with 3 questions. 1, how are you handling unrealistic sellers? If you have any. 2, how are you handling buyer fatigue? If you've seen that on that side. And 3, how are you managing conversations about rates and prices and inventory today? He kind of reminded us this, one of the most fundamental things, which I agree with him on. The single most important factor for you over time in the success of your business is your ability to talk through topics with your clients. The ability to have useful conversations that your clients come away with, knowing that you're an expert, knowing that you're on their side, all that stuff. And so he continues obviously to focus on conversational stuff with folks in the playbook calls. But he doesn't want any of us to overlook the importance of our ability to grow our strength or grow our capability to have these conversations. So he wanted to start off with those 3 questions. So I'll just repeat them again. 1, how are you handling unrealistic sellers? 2, how are you handling buyer fatigue? And 3, how are you managing conversations about rates, prices, and/or inventory? Start there and let's see where the conversations go. We'll give you guys about 30 minutes for these. We'll have you in, looks like 2 groups. Is that right, Andrew? 2 groups?
I think we can do
you go to
3
3?
groups. Yeah.
We can do 3. Okay, fine. Great. Okay, so we'll have you in 3 groups. And we'll come back in 30 minutes. I'll hop into the calls as usual. But think about how you can add value, because chances are whatever you're facing right now, somebody else in your calls, somebody else on the call is facing it too. Josh, I see a smile there. What's is there something that you just saw or something? Can't hear you. Sorry. Can you unmute?
Yeah, I'm gonna get this transcript thing. That's what the autopilot is? Oh,
I was wondering what that was.
yeah. Hello. All right.
I
I'll do
love
after the
that.
meeting. So cool.
So that's also something you can talk about if you like. It's perfectly fine. You know, some people are going to it. Again, it's a tool that might be useful to you, might not be, but certainly feel free to talk about that in your conversation as well.
I mean,
Okay, so you guys know where you know where you're starting the conversation?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so Andrew, please put everybody into the groups and we'll see you back here in about 30 minutes. So I heard some interesting conversations popping through a little bit. I heard a tactic that Tracy has used with some success that impressed Fran. And so that's pretty impressive, actually. If you can impress Fran, that means there's something there. Also heard a little bit about markets in New York and some of the suburbs in New York, which are a little bit different from the city itself. And also some conversation around the Costa Rica trip. So I'm just curious, who heard something that they either thought, wow, that's interesting, I never thought about that before, or that they were surprised by? Was that a yes, Tracy? I saw that hand go up quickly.
Oh, no, I was just,
I like Tracy. I was impressed by Tracy.
I'm sorry, the other Tracy. Tracy with a Y. Tracy, you're muted. Can you unmute?
Sorry, I never know when I should be muted or not muted. What I learned was I liked Josh had an event that they did where they sponsored something, but they offered raffles, and you had to submit your email, your contact information, and answer the question whether or not you were looking to buy or sell in the next 15 months to 2 years. And they've captured a lot of for a minimal investment. I think for $1,000, they've gotten a lot of feedback on it.
I just threw it in the chat. Like, we blow it up on a poster board, using it all summer. Half the things are from Amazon Prime Day. And people are so pumped. Everybody wants an outdoor pizza oven. So like, we put these out at one of our community events, and 70 or more contacts and 15 or more leads saying, I'm looking to buy or sell within 2 years. And so whichever the agent on our team that's there at the event gets the leads. But like, to spend 3 hours of your life somewhere and walk away knowing 15 new contacts in your neighborhood that are looking to buy or sell within the next 2 years with their email and phone is a win. So, and these things like added up to around $1,000. It's nothing. Like, if you get one deal, but if you get 10 deals over the course of the summer, it's like crazy. So,
Josh, where do you advertise this?
So we sponsor like a local farmers market. Like, there's a few events that like the agents will table at, or like the local art, like there's a open studios thing in a couple of our neighborhoods. And we usually sponsored a block party the other day in our neighborhood. And they were like, do you have any signs? And we ended up bringing one of these over there. So it's just on a poster board sitting there, and people walk by and they're like, whoa. Yeah, so it's like, we've rolled this out just early last week, and already have about 30, and it's been at 2 events, and it's already have 35 buyer seller leads. So
That's amazing.
And then like 200 people that are on our newsletter. There's a little disclaimer at the bottom that says, you allow us to put you on our newsletter list too. And they're all local people.
So Josh, how does the successful application of this here make you think about where's another opportunity for us to use this that's a little bit different or a little bigger or different or something?
Would you use it in an ad?
You know what? So I've been thinking a lot about what Mike Hedgie did with that incredible boat
Yeah, the
raffle.
water skiing, yep.
I mean, when I looked at that, I was like, that looks freaking fun. I will follow you and post you, share this to my story and tag 2 people for a day on a mastercraft with this and that and all this with my friends and blah, blah, blah. I was like, I'd do that. And so I think there's a play to do something like that through social media. That's not exactly a lead generation thing, but it is a brand building thing. And like, if you're trying to get a lot more followers in your local market, that there could be a play there. I don't know if I would put this out at an open house or not, though. I mean, maybe it's, we haven't talked about or explored that. It seems like different, you know? So,
I love that it's like local like that. I like
Yeah.
that. But you sounds like you have that kind of town. I think I have to move.
yes.
I need a
Yes.
different town. Getting the hell out of Woodbury.
No, you
Fran,
guys love
Woodbury
it.
wouldn't be the same if you move.
You don't have, Fran, any, like, we have al fresco, like it's a Sunday thing, we sponsor it, we do the bouncy castle or
I
whatever
got
they are.
nothing here. I got nothing here. Really, they don't
So we
do.
do similar to what Josh does. It's like you capture those, you make them
I love
Sunday.
that. I love that. I did that when a restaurant opened right where our office is. And what we did is I had a gift certificate for the restaurant and I gave out, and there's a Dunkin' Donuts right next to it. So we stood by Dunkin' Donuts. We gave out free coffee. If you filled it out, you got the gift certificate. It's on a smaller scale than the pizza oven. And it was a dud. It was a complete and utter dud. I stood there for like 4 hours and I was like, these people got to be kidding me. They just don't engage.
Some, you know what? That's part of the reason why I did this, because not everybody wants to engage anymore, right? So like,
Right.
if we're at an event, like I printed a few of these and had the easels, and like one of them, I just parked it right next to the food trucks, and people are ordering their food, they're waiting in line, or they're waiting for their food to come after they order. They're looking at this, they're like, oh, cool, okay. And because it's true, like we don't always want to talk to people either, right? Like, you know, you just, so like, I kind of was thinking about like what might be a little bit more organic, and you know, I'd be with this volume of people, like I'd be shocked if it doesn't turn into, you know, some amount of transactions. Obviously, it's not everybody, not even 50%, but like it's a good amount of volume. So, and I like, you know, I've got a few team members, so it's especially important to make sure that they have opportunities. So
I love it.
Speaking of opportunities, and I kind of gave the introduction before about Fran being impressed, I think that Tracy, perhaps you should take a minute to share your thoughts, see if it impresses anybody else, or if somebody else has tried something similar, they might be able to chime in.
So I might have spoken about this before, maybe I haven't, I don't know. We were talking about price reductions, and sometimes you just have that seller who's just so stuck and digs their heels in and doesn't want to hear about it. So kind of a different approach is I've had them do a increase in the commission on the selling agent. So buyer can come with an agent and there's no inventory out there. So sometimes it's an opportunity for those agents to be making a little bit more money, kind of revisiting the listing again with their buyers. I do it so that I don't take it if I happen to bring in the buyer, because I don't want them to think I'm like setting them up for something, which that's not the point. The point is to try to sell the property. And it's worked. It's actually, sometimes they're like, wow, that it literally just, you put it out there. I make some calls to people who've been to the property with other agents, and these agents have come back, and the last 2 I've done it to, it's worked. If it doesn't work, there's no harm, no foul. And then it gives you another conversation to talk about a price reduction.
Wait, can I ask a question? So you're not reducing the price, you're just increasing the commission.
Because the seller is so like, they don't want to hear about a price reduction. It's almost like a different way to do it, to try to get more people into the property with those agents.
Interesting.
So I'm not doing a price reduction, but if it doesn't work, Now it's like, okay, we have to do a price reduction, like time to do one, but it's worked. So it's worked twice.
Is it a half a
It's
percent?
almost sad that it works.
It's sad that it works, but
It
some
is.
of the agents that it's worked with, that's why they came, Stacy. I'm telling you right now. They were
Oh
like,
my
I called them
gosh.
up. Yeah. But you know what?
Tracy, is it a half a point you do or a full point?
Once it was a half, once it was a point,
Okay. It's really interesting idea.
you know, because it's
A full point will do it. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Right.
full point. And it's like they come out of the woodwork,
All of
Josh.
them, they love the house. It's gorgeous.
They're like to their buyers, you will buy this house.
They're like, let's go back and revisit 14 Maple.
Right.
Cares that the roof is caving in.
We took a good enough look.
Mold?
Closer
No
look at this
worries.
one again. Haven't stopped thinking about it since we
Bring
left.
a roofer in. Some of the roof is sitting in the living room floor. Who cares?
Okay, the houses aren't that bad, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a good tip.
It's a good tip.
Yeah, good tip.
See, in New York City, we're 50-50.
Well, we
We're
could do
50,
it.
But you,
Yeah,
but
well,
you can
depends.
offer but you can offer an
A bonus?
incentive, I think. Yeah, I think you can, because the new devs do it.
Especially in a time now where it's like, sometimes you're doing a price reduction, it just, like, this one is working, that I just was telling them, I just did a price reduction, 200,000 on a $2 million one to get it under 2 million. And now all of a sudden my phone is blowing up because they're like making appointments now. But as you're heading into like August and you got to do something with it and they don't want to take it off the market, the broker piece doesn't really, you know, it's only going to cost you something, obviously, if they end up buying it, but then they're selling the property. So
Then you'll spin the dial with a few of the people that have been through and just let them know, hey, if your person's still out there, and also we did this.
I've had Josh brokers call. They're like, I just saw that you just this agent bonus. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh my God,
Crazy.
like, you're all crazy.
Do you put that, is it just like the percentage is listed, or do you note it somewhere in the
I
MLS?
put it in the
like-
broker's notes as well.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I like it.
Stacy, are you saying in New York it's mandatory to be 50-50? Like,
It's part of our real estate board in New York, like
it.
contract. I actually heard that is going away. But I don't think the brokerage community will toss it just because we're used to it, but who knows, actually. And we don't have an MLS, so it's hard to communicate stuff like that, you know, or harder. But you just gave me an idea though, Tracy, because we tried this once and we were not successful, but I think maybe we could do it differently. Has anybody been successful with offering their seller to pay down the rate? The mortgage rate?
I mean, when they went up, there was a lot of talk about these 2-1 buy downs and this and that, these products. And I felt like it was more of a pitch than
Yeah.
it wasn't really happening so much. And then
And it gets so complicated. Yeah.
Yeah, we tried it once and it was complicated because then they were like,
It's
"Okay,
complicated.
we'll take the buy down, but then we'll also negotiate." We're like, no, that is the negotiation. Like, we're giving you $25,000, and we like did the math, which how much money it saves them versus like the price, but it was very hard for people to understand.
That's right. And sometimes if it's too hard for people to understand, then it takes away from the negotiation and the creating value, because people are moving slower to wrap their head around, like, am I winning or losing, or what's going on here? So I felt like people were not fully understanding what they were talking about, where they
Yeah.
were.
That's how I felt too. I was wondering if we could do it better, but maybe it's just not the right tactic.
It's just lower the rates. Okay, guys.
Hey, guys.
Before
time.
we go, can I just make a little small announcement? I'm sure the people in Tri-State probably saw it from the managers. We're doing a luxury tour tomorrow from 4 million to 9 million in the Brookvilles and Old Westbury, and then we're ending with a networking event from 4 to 6. So I don't know if you saw it or got it, but if anyone is around and feels like coming to Long Island, I'll be at 2 of the houses, so, and then we'll be at one of them, like I said, from 4 to 6. That's,
Argo, that's the move.
there it is.
Or that we were talking about.
And we developed well, it's really funny. We developed a collaborative tour with other agencies as well, and Compass reamed my ass.
Uh-oh.
Why? We do it all the time.
Wondering, Fran, what the
Yeah.
hell happened?
They wouldn't do it. I did a private, we have our own flyer that we just sent out privately. They wouldn't do anything marketing, advertising if the other companies were mentioned. So
Wow.
stupid.
It's
Yeah.
got to be about what helps our sellers, if that's the end goal.
You
like,
know, and
what's
it's
gonna
so
help us?
ridiculous. But anyway, so we kind of did it a 2-way, but that's going on.
That's
And
crazy.
can we, is there anything we could discuss about Costa Rica before everyone jumps?
There's something you need to discuss, Fran?
No, I just want to know what everybody's thoughts
Oh.
were, if they're what they're doing, going, you know.
I'm going.
I'm not gonna make it.
Stacy, I love the hair. I have to just say that. Love your hair. Looks great.
Me?
And that has
Yeah,
to
your
do with
hairstyle.
Costa Rica because,
Has
Fran?
nothing to do with Costa Rica, but I'm looking
I
at
mean, I'll
Stacey's
take
hair
it.
the
It's
whole
the
time,
first
and I
day
go,
I'm not
I love the
sopping
color,
wet.
and Josh, you look amazing. So I'm just all
Yes.
I see is little heads. Josh, you look amazing, and Tracy, I love the hair.
Let me just say one thing about Costa Rica. Jess was saying that it's not easy to get there. It's a full day of travel. So if you're
It
not
is.
familiar with getting there and you're going, look into the flights and everything right away because it takes little effort to get there. She said it's
I
a full
heard.
8 hours. Yep.
Yeah, I heard it's very difficult to get there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love you all.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Good, valuable input today.
Bye.
Look forward to seeing you again soon.
See you all.
Bye-bye.